What's good, everyone? Welcome back to My First Kicks. This is episode 151, and this week we welcome back Morgan to the podcast. Morgan Jones, Morgan Sneaker Room. Say what up, Morgan.
What is going on? How we doing, everybody?
Yo, thank you for jumping back on. Like I said before we jumped on this, that I just didn't want to jump straight into another interview and just after post ComplexCon. So I mean, we could talk about ComplexCon. We could talk about whatever you want, but this is going to be a no structured, not a kick talk but we'll probably jump into talking about kicks. But I wanted to stray away from the norm because in order to jump, I did way too many interviews while I was over there, bro, and hopefully we'll drop them slowly. Me and my boy Foggy are working on it, but it was, I tell you, man, I'm socially, I guess social taxed out is the word I want to use.
So it's just comfortable to talk to me. So I'm
Yeah,
not go back to the roots.
yeah. You were one of the early guests. And I mean, look, we could be real with these people. We wanted Dre on as well. It was gonna be me, you, and Dre, and I wanted to
He
talk about
bailed.
him hitting. Yeah, I wanted to talk about him hitting 100K. But we're not giving him any more people to listen to or follow,
Nah,
make follow.
look, I've been at 23K for months now, and yeah, if y'all want to follow me, go ahead, please do it, because some of these sneaker creators, man, who have more than me, it's I'm still trying to figure out why. So go ahead
I
and give
mean,
me a
look,
follow.
we could talk about it, bro. We could talk about it. Like, let's talk about it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of sneaker creators in general. Like, we could be real about it. I mean, I don't consider myself as one. In terms of just like, I mean, I make content based around sneakers, but I'm not like reviewing sneakers every week and buying early pairs. And I'd like to talk about the stories and then its connection to me, but I'm not out here trying to get brands to work with me on the real.
So you're not trying to tell people like what they should buy and what they shouldn't buy this next week on the sneakers app?
Right, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just checking.
Have you ever seen a video I put out and that's what you get? Like that's
Never. Never. But I see so many of those videos, it's hard to keep track of who's doing them and who isn't.
it's 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 not fun. That's like I've always said that. Like to me, that's not the fun part of sneaker TikTok or sneakers in general. That the whole selling it so that people can, like, I don't know. I unless somebody's giving me money to push the item, maybe. But at the same time, it's like I don't make content that would make brands want to be like, yo, pull, like, here's something, sell this for me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That's
The
what I'm for.
idea.
You've thrown me some alley oops in the past.
I know I have, and
You've
I try to
you've
get them
thrown me
alley oops for me.
nah, it's not working.
It's definitely not working. But I guess talk to these people about where they can find you. Let's get that
Yeah,
off early in here.
yeah. You can find me on TikTok at Morgan Sneaker Room. You can find me on Instagram at Morgan Sneaker Room. I really just try to post everything that I think is funny. Yeah, that's just and I try to talk about what I like about sneakers. So I'm not trying to
Mhm.
sell anybody anything. I'm just like Haas, talking about the stories behind sneakers as much as I can. Um, so yeah, give me a follow.
I mean, look, you've gotten some really good follows, regardless. I think it's when you talk about passion or like sneaker passion, I think real brands or like people that work at those brands do follow, like find you, and that's like the difference of it, the of like when people who which is what I was trying to like talk about on Twitter, is that there are a lot of people that are jumping into these brands and working as like marketing people, but they're from sneaker culture, so they kind of gravitate towards that instead of like how like Nike would be like, oh, let's who's the hottest person, let's give him a shot. And I think I don't know if it, what do you think, like does that connect with you more, or like what do you like more? Do you like when somebody's just talking about a sneaker and not really that passionate about it?
No, I want, I gravitate towards passion. I gravitate towards like nerding out over a
Hmm.
sneaker, whether it's the story, whether it's a person. Like we know, we've talked a lot about the Action Bronson New Balance collab, and
Yeah.
one of my contemporaries on TikTok doesn't seem to like them. Um, you know, he just doesn't understand why, Action Bronson getting a New Balance collab is good for sneaker culture. So I,
Right.
I like nerding out over that type of stuff. I like nerding out over materials and colorways and history and that type of thing. So if whenever you get somebody who buys their way into sneaker culture, and you can always tell who it is, like they can't
Hmm.
stay camouflaged for long. Um, I tend to I get repulsed by that.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about like just because I've always was wondering, and I mean, I think I don't know if this is right, but I think I guess the meteoric rise is TikTok, right? And I think it's just so separate how like TikTok and Instagram, like all the socials don't commingle, which
Right.
is, you get different types of sneakerhead on one platform, and then when they try to migrate to another platform, they get bounced out. Like, so, um, I don't know. I don't know if that's happened to you, or like, have you seen that?
I've definitely seen it with other creators. Like there are, I mean, we can talk about YouTube. So YouTube
Hmm.
creators who I used to watch when I was younger. I've seen them try to migrate over to TikTok, and
Hmm.
it doesn't work for them. I have seen some people have some success over on YouTube who came from TikTok. But for me, I'm not looking at it as a sense of being successful. I'm looking at it as like TikTok is just a huge group chat where
Hmm.
we can bounce ideas and I can, put something out there and then people can comment on it. Um, Whether they agree with me or they don't agree with me. I've started to look at it like that rather than okay, I'm trying to get as many followers as possible. Um, so that has kind of been a shift that I've made over the
Hmm.
last few months. Because for a while I was thinking like, okay, I got to get more followers, I got to get more views. Let's see if I can make some money on this, and it stopped being fun. And
Yeah.
so I took a step back, and now I post whenever I feel like it. And it's not great for the algorithm, but I don't really care anymore. But I feel like I have the type of content and I have the type of um, you know sneaker taste that I think if I put the same effort into Instagram, I would be more successful over there. But I've
Hmm.
already got momentum on TikTok, and I just don't feel like I have the energy to spend my time on both platforms.
No, yeah, it sucks. I have to do every single platform just to push this
Yeah.
podcast. So I understand it. And that's why I never really put a ton of effort into my TikToks. I think that the idea of, I mean, I was talking to the homie Brian Maderos who does Nachos average finds.
Yeah.
So me and him were talking, and he was just like, content grind is just like a totally different beast, and it just wears you down. And I totally get that, because I'm I like, and that's the biggest struggle. And I mean, even in your episode, we talk about it, of just being like, I have to make all this extra stuff just to get eyes on this. Like, I'm like, Why can't I just do this and do it extremely well, and then people will find it? Like it doesn't, and it doesn't equate. You have to do all this extra stuff and then be like a extra personality on top of what I'm doing here. I'm like I don't find that appealing. I don't find that as fun. Like to just want to constantly post up or put on the on TikTok of like what like my funny quips or whatever and my takes, and then it kind of just like I have to come up with that stuff in order to get to the podcast stuff, and then when the podcast stuff doesn't do well, I'm kind of like, oh man, this sucks. Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, I've definitely been there. I've been there with TikToks where it's like
uh-huh.
I will spend a lot of time editing, and I mean you've seen I've gotten kind of nice with the photo editing and the video
hmm
editing, and I'll
I
spend a
mean,
lot of
nice is
time.
relative.
Here we go. Here we go. I'm
I mean, look,
self-taught,
look,
man.
look. I went to school for graphic design. You telling me nice with the editing? I'm gonna look at you sideways, bro. I'll be like,
Here we
nah, bro.
go. That's
I see.
crazy. Look,
I'll
I'm
be like, man.
self-taught. You got a degree. I'm self-taught. But I'm doing these things and like
hmm
just trying to get creative with the video and the photo side of it. And when it gets 500 views, it's kind of like, well, shoot, that sucked. But
Shit, I
at the
wish I had
same point,
500 views.
I know you do. I know you do. But when you have, I've got almost 24,000 followers, which is small when it comes to like TikTok numbers, but
Yeah.
in real life, like having 24,000 people who think that your content is interesting, like I'm still baffled by that.
hmm
Um, but yeah, I mean, I definitely understand the grind of like you put out something and you put your heart and soul into it, and then it flops. Like it sucks.
I like. I was equating this to because I don't know if you watch the May the Lord Watch um, Little Brother documentary,
Uh-uh.
but you got to watch it. You like Little Brother, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I was about to say we're about to end
yeah.
this podcast right
North
now.
North Central's finest, or North
Yes,
Carolina's finest. I
North
said North
Carolina,
Central.
whatever,
North
North
Carolina's
Central.
finest.
Fonte,
That's a local high school.
Fonte is listening right now, like North Central.
I hope.
Um, but like just the idea, like even if you compare this to music, right, where
Yeah,
you putting out an album, I'm putting out an album every week, and like it's not doing anything, right? And you looking at it like you looking at it from the grand scheme, like, man, am I doing something? Am I doing something? And the TikToks go nowhere, and I'm like, I've been at 700 followers for God knows how long,
yeah,
and I'm trying to like, yo, let me at least get to 1,000 so I could show my face on one of these lives. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm tired of you being like, oh, he can't even show his face on here. Like,
Talking crazy.
bless you. The
That's
bless you,
Caitlin
Caitlin.
sneezing, man.
That's good. I'm not editing that
Oh,
out.
I'm really about to give her a look, man.
But I mean, look, you're starting your own podcast with Flex, which is I don't know how you gonna do this, but I I implore that you do follow through with it, just so I can see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm a very big proponent of let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Winging it. So that's what I plan on doing. I'm letting him kind of take the lead, and I'll do whatever he wants me to do.
Hey
Um,
yo.
chill. Um,
I mean,
so yeah,
what's your idea for that? Because like I wanted to pick your brain. I wanted to talk to you, but Flex wouldn't let me on to the live that day, and I when he announced it, and I wanted to pick you guys' brain about like what do you guys expect like to do with the podcast, or like what do you want to do with it?
so what I see, and we haven't really talked much about it, but I feel like he's got some ideas, but
Mm.
what I think is we both have very different opinions on sneakers, even though we both, we get along and we agree on a lot of things. We both, I think, come from very different spaces when it comes to sneakers. So
Hmm.
while he might be excited for the next Jordan 11 that comes out, I'm like, bro, those are whack. Like I'm not feeling those, right?
One
Um,
thousand percent.
right.
I mean, but
So
that's like if we made a podcast, it probably would not like. I mean, this is what we're getting. The people are gonna be like, "Oh, these two dudes are just they 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 grew up in the same type of sneakerdom." Like,
yeah,
so it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, right. Like, you know, I feel like Flex is very new to not very new to sneakers, but he's not as ingrained as
Hmm.
we are. I think he's somebody who appreciates the sneakers for what they are and the design and stuff like that. Um, but I feel like the two of us would again nerd out over a colorway, nerd out on the storytelling.
Hmm.
Um, I still can't get Flex to watch Do the Right Thing. He still thinks that it's a sneaker movie.
Oh my
Um,
god.
so I try to be cool about it, man. But I mean, he thinks it's a sneaker movie. So um,
How's that? I mean, oh man, oh my god, I don't. I would probably have like a conniption if I try to get into this with him. But
yeah,
you know,
y'all,
yeah,
hey,
I
you
agree
guys
with
in the
you.
group chat, you guys in the group chat are hilarious. Um, I mean, you guys argue like it's not very often that you guys argue, but when you do, man, it's like nobody's gonna back down. Neither one of you guys back down.
But my thing is like, he's. I think Flex is too like when he has something in his brain that he thinks he's like 100% right,
Uh huh.
then he's like, oh, I have to prove you're right. And then for me, like if I'll admit I'm wrong, because like I've been where he's at, where I just
Uh
think
huh.
I'm right all the time. That was me on the forums. That's me on the forums. It was on the forums every day. It would be like a post, and I'll be like, "Nah, you wrong," and then I'll go. I remember I got into it with somebody. I don't know if you listen to Jedi Mind Tricks. You know what Jedi Mind Tricks are?
I know of them.
But so the Jedi Mind Tricks was Vinny Paz and Just Allah, right? Just Allah
Uh
made all the
huh.
beats, Vinny Paz was rapping. And so they also had two separate names, right? So they would call each other, Vinny Paz would call himself Icon the Hologram, and then Just Allah would call himself something like Megatron, whatever. Some weird name that involved like
Like
Transformers.
Tony Starks, like
Yeah, like
Ghostface
Ghostface,
Killer.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I kept saying there's four people in the group, and I was like, that's how hard
Oh
headed I
no.
was. And people were telling me like, no, you wrong, no, you wrong. And I'm like, yo, I listened to the songs, and this is before Google had all the answers. So this is
Uh
me like listening to the album, looking at the book, right, and then being like, nah, there's four people because they don't really put their faces in the book and stuff. And then it's like, see, it's Icon the Hologram, Vinny Pets, like, and then I was just like breaking it down, and people were like,
yeah.
"Man, you wrong as hell." And then you had to like, once people put you in a place enough, put you in your place enough times, then you have to be like, "All right, man, like I get it, you know." And then so
Yeah.
I'm always quick to be like, "All right, I'm wrong." Like I have no problem being like, "All right, I'm wrong." So
Well,
that's yeah.
I was going around telling people that Redman was in Wu Tang Clan. So um,
He's affiliate. I think he's affiliate now.
yeah, yeah. But
So
for a long time, I was telling people Redman was in Wu Tang Clan. So yeah, I
that
feel you.
that that I mean, look, the idea of just like, like, I mean, when I was in high school, I was a big liar because I wanted to fit in, and I feel like everybody has that moment, right, where you just
Oh,
like, yeah,
I've
I'm gonna
never
make a
heard
lie.
anybody admit that. I've never in my life heard anybody admit
I'm
that.
admitting right now. I'm admitting it right now. I'm not a liar. I'm not a huge liar now, but I used to be like, yeah, Ronaldinho was my cousin. Like I used to
Bro,
OD.
in high school, you were doing that?
No, middle school, not high school. Did I say high school? Middle school. Middle
You
school. I
might.
was a
I don't
kid,
know. Okay, go on. So, what were you lying
but
about?
yeah, I used to just to fit in. I used to be like, yeah, you know, I'm Brazilian, so you know, such and such is my cousin. I used to be like that. That was me.
That's You know, I knew a lot of people in elementary school who said Lil Bow Wow was their cousin. Um, that was elementary
Why?
school, man. That bro, that was everybody was doing that. Everybody was saying Lil Bow Wow was their cousin. Maybe it was
So
just
everybody related.
yeah. I'm like, okay, like I'm I'm in third grade, but I'm not dumb. Like,
That's wild, man. You know, I definitely want to talk about the. I mean, we could talk about fucking my time with J Tips at ComplexCon, and how this damn shoe sold out in 8 minutes
I'm sick.
online on
I'm sick.
Friday.
I so I used the connection right,
Right.
and I I shared the J Tips Instagram post, and I tagged
Hmm.
old boy in it, and I was like, yo, I
Yeah.
still didn't get my pair, and there's still hope. There's still hope. I'll be getting the package soon.
I mean, I'll pray for you. I hope you don't. I truly hope you don't, though.
I know you
I
do. How much you pay? How much you pay for yours?
160. I
Dang.
caught them at the booth. I got them signed. I got the box signed, and then I had to leave the box in Cali, be at my boy's crib. So
Let me see if I can get the box signed. I gotta shoot him back real quick. Gotta send a message.
I hope you don't even get the shoe. All right. Like, I'll straight up say it. Like, I wanted to make a video about this. I just wanted to make a video, be like, I'm not happy for you if you got a shoe that I wanted. Like, straight up. Like, there's if I didn't
That's
get the
fair.
shoe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let me tell you
Um,
about the time, because let me tell you about the time. And Chris, shout out to Chris. He listens to this. Is the homie. He's been listening since episode 1. Um, I wanted these damn Dornbecker fives so bad. The one with the black light and the
yeah.
lettering. So we both put in raffles at the same spot, all the same spots, right?
Hmm.
And I didn't hit. He hit, but he picks me up to go drive around to pick up his shoe. The entire time in the car, like, he opens the box and shows me the shoe. I'm upset. I'm fuming. Like, I'm in there in the car, like, good for you, And he's like, no, we'll just go to another Foot Locker. They probably got him. Like, no, bro, it's
No, they
over.
don't.
It's over
I
for
would have
me.
grabbed the steering wheel. I mean, I would have grabbed the steering wheel and killed the both of us. That's how I would have handled that.
the I'm never happy for anybody that gets shoes, like shoes that I want. Like, I'm happy for you
Mm,
if you got a shoe that you want and that I didn't care about, and be like, yo,
mhm,
good on you, shout out to you. But if you like, if you get these J tips, like, if you get the blue pair of J tips and I don't get the blue pair of J tips,
mhm.
I'll be like, mm-mm, nah, I hate you, Morgan. Like,
Well, I'm not gonna
anybody that
lie.
got yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So hopefully I can
Hmm.
get that brown pair sent to me,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Um, but if I have to, I will pay resale for that blue pair. I will pay resale for them.
I mean,
I can get both of them.
them
The
resellers is
fire.
taxing now. Them retailers,
Nah, it's because rent's not due yet. I tried it. Hey, rent's not due yet. I got
rent's
something.
not
I
due.
got something cooking right now. I
Uh
got
huh.
something cooking right now on eBay. Um, and this may be my best one yet. When are
Hmm.
you gonna? When is this release?
This is releasing next week.
All right, bet. So, I'll hopefully I'll have them by then. So,
Hmm.
uh, what size you wear? No, you're a 13. All good.
13. That's
Um,
not happening.
all right, perfect. So, Volcano Gel Light fives.
Yeah,
Okay,
they don't even they didn't even come out in a size 13, so you're fine.
perfect. I love hearing that, bro. 260, 260
Nice.
on eBay. OG box, OG everything. Um, so that is currently cooking.
I mean, I'll pray you get those, because actually, no, I pray you don't get those. I'm taking
Well,
it
I was
back
hoping you
because
said that.
I'm so bitter that I wasn't able to cop when they first dropped.
Uh huh.
And I remember going to Kith and pulling up, waiting on line, get to the front of the line, and I go 13. They go, we didn't make a 13, and I go, what? What? And I was pissed ever since, bro.
Do you
Volcano
have the
gel.
do you have the threes, the gel light threes?
No, I've only gotten the only pairs of Ronnie Figs I have are the GT2s Brazil colorway
Okay,
and
I have those.
the yeah, I know you do. And but you ain't Brazilian, so it don't matter.
I could be.
And that's actually true. You could be.
I'm
you
racially
you
racially
I'm,
ambiguous.
this is definitely the racially ambiguous duo right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. If we make a podcast together, that's what we should call it, just racially ambiguous.
Man, we might have to do that. If you and Flex don't work out, we could do that.
All right, bet.
um and then I also have the Eastern Conference, whatever, the Knicks
Oh,
colorway.
the Knicks joints. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
never touch those in my life. I'll never touch
Okay.
them.
I mean, as natural born rivals here, because you know I hate the Pacers. You can. I'm glad you won't touch them.
So let's. So okay.
One
So
day, we. You know what we need to do though. You know what we need to do though. We
what's
need
that?
to either figure out a game where you either come to New York or I come down to Indiana and we watch the Knicks versus Pacers. We need to make that happen.
Okay, I've been to a Knicks versus Pacers game,
Hmm.
and I was as close to court side as I'm ever gonna get.
Hmm.
Like I could have. Let's see who was even on that Knicks team at the time. This was like
Probably some.
2019.
Oh, okay. So they weren't bums.
So we're looking
It
at
was
like I
random.
mean, so Pacers was like T.J. Warren was on the team.
Yeah.
Victor Oladipo, he was, this was that time. I
Yeah.
was I was close enough to the court I could have spit on T.J. McConnell. Um, but yeah, the Knicks beat us, and I was hot. Um, yeah,
Yeah. That's like
I never
that
wanted
was
to
the
get.
year. That was the surprising year for the Knicks where Randall showed up
Yeah,
and he was like, "I'm gonna score 30 a game." Like he was,
yeah.
yeah, he was going crazy.
Um, I'm about to sneeze real quick. Hold on.
All right,
That
bless
was
you.
me that time. Thank you.
um, I mean, you got any? Because you didn't get to go to ComplexCon. You got any questions for me for ComplexCon?
For Complex Con, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I went to one sneaker con, and I
Yeah.
never had any interest in going to another con ever again.
Hmm. Well, I'm gonna
Um,
tell you, ComplexCon is 1,000% different than any sneaker
really,
con. Yeah, I will gladly shit on any sneaker con to be honest, because and they've never hit me up. I will probably never go to one unless they ask me to go to one, and I'd probably give like bad takes anyway. But the sneaker con, God Souls, like they don't intrigue me. I think they're probably the bane of sneaker culture right now, of just capitalizing on reselling.
yeah,
And
that's what
ComplexCon
I
is
hated
about,
about it.
yeah, and ComplexCon is what you'd hope a sneaker con would be. So brands
Gotcha.
come, you get to learn about new brands, you get to walk the floor, celebrities are there, you get to talk to them, you get to like booths, like all the booths were all individually dope. The I mean, I got to meet J Tips. I got on Gators a Gator from Lil Dicky Gator Instagram. He pumped the pod on that. I got a video with him. I got to talk to Jay from Saucony. Shout out to Jay. And we
That's
got to
my
talk.
guy,
I
right?
mean, yeah. That's our guy.
Yeah.
That's our guy. Um,
I mean, he sent me stuff.
I mean, listen, he's gonna do an episode of this podcast, so I'll hash it out. I'll hash it out with him to make sure that you don't get any more stuff.
Don't do that.
But like, I implore people because I think the one thing about Complex is I've always been a fan of Complex. You know, it's funny because uh, the minute I walked in and started walking around, guess who I ran into?
Who's that? Bernie.
Mark Echo. Nah,
Oh,
Mark Echo. So I walk in and I'm like out of sight, like just walking around. I'm like Mark. And he's like, yo, what's up? And I was just like, I'm like, yo, bro, because me and him, we go way back. We go
yeah.
way back, bro. 2000 and the 2000 when the year that Getting Up came out. the game about graffiti. So I'll tell you this story.
Okay.
Go. So he did a Q&A on IGN, and I got one of my questions asked, right? So he did like a black book graffiti signing, and he had all the like legends from the game, like actual real graffiti legends, pull up to Virgin Megastore on 42nd Street. I go there because I wanted to get my game signed by all of them, and I realized, oh no, they stopped me and they go, oh, you had to have been invited to get to be part of this. So then I yell at Mark Echo. I'm like, "Yo, Mark, this is the balls I had on me. Yo, Mark, do you remember me? You answered my question on IGN." And he goes, "Oh snap, yeah." So he let me get all my shit signed, and like I got to meet Rakim. I was in a picture in the source with Rakim because of that. It
In the
was wild.
source, like
In the source, yeah, like Source magazine,
that's crazy.
right?
That
So
stuff doesn't happen in Indianapolis, man.
you
That
gotta
doesn't
move.
happen out here.
You gotta move, bro. So then fast forward to ComplexCon, I run into him and I tell him the same story. He remembered me, bro. I was like, what? And then I told him about the podcast. I gave him a sticker. No response back. But the just like the I was just telling him, yo, man, like it was just a wild time. Like you actually like helped me get to meet all these graffiti legends and stuff like that, and got my book signed. And he was just like, yo, that's crazy. Like I remember that. It was crazy. Virgin Megastore. That's wild, bro. I was just like, yeah. But yeah, that was like ComplexCon is just really dope. I implore you to definitely pull up next year.
Yeah, yeah, it might be that might be something I do. Because it does look like a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Now, did you go to the panel, the sneaker of the year panel?
I couldn't get in, so I got there late, but I guess a lot of the people that were really like wanting to go to Sneaker of the Year panel, they stayed from the panel before, and then they were like, now a lot of people were like, they only let in a couple people. So by the time we get there, they weren't letting anybody in, and I had a media pass, so they were like, oh, you get to go VIP, whatever, so I could skip all the lines, but there's no space for me to get in, and I didn't miss the whole panel.
Right. Did you see the list?
Nah. Did you see the list?
I saw bits and pieces, man. It's it's a very complex list. I mean, they definitely. I mean, Terror Squad Air Force One's making the list, man.
How?
You pulling it up now?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now. Let's see, because I talked to Brendan Dunn after,
Uh
and
huh.
he was like, "I'm gonna have to talk about this for 20 shows or whatever." So he didn't tell me what the list was.
Yeah. It's
uh, Let me see. Let me
I'm
see.
gonna pull it up
Uh,
myself.
yeah. Oh, this is 2022. I'm looking for 2023. Let's see. What about the Instagram? Is it on the Instagram?
It might be.
Let me see. All right. I know they pulled out the red boots, Tiffany Air Force Ones, SB Jordan 4s. Um, nah, I don't got no list.
You don't have a list?
I just know that SB 4s won. Somebody said SB 4s won.
Uh,
What
somebody on TikTok had the list, and
yeah.
he was going through and putting his opinion on them, and I was like, this is nuts.
What do you I mean, what do you think is like
About
about this list in general? Cuz like or do you think what do you think about list in general? Like is
it's
it
so subjective. Um, And that's one of the things. That's why I like this time of year to put out my
Hmm.
own list, because my list is way different than anybody else. And then I get accused of being, trying to be different and stuff like that. But it's like, just
Hmm.
by the nature of what my taste is going to be different. Like, I feel like the SB4s are one of the top sneakers of the year. A lot of people are calling it number one. Is not in my top five.
Hmm.
Um, but I would put. I mean, I'm looking at this stack of boxes over there. Um, the Gel NYC, the Bodega Gel NYC.
I wasn't
That's
a
one of
big
my.
fan of those.
You
I'll
didn't
be
like them?
honest. Nah.
Well, this is
Like I
just
was
in
I was
case.
hesitant to be like
Yeah,
I get the inspiration behind it, but for some reason that like darkish colorway did not
yeah.
appeal to me.
Well, this is just in case somebody from Bodega is listening. Or um, the concepts C note. Those
I
are
don't think I don't think that should even be counted because it's a shoe that originally released in 2013.
so no retro Jordans account.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Like
Well, if we want to put that, I mean, I'm cool with that stipulation. I
you
really
know,
like the
like it
consortium
has
count.
to be if the collab like the SB4s count because it's a brand new shoe. Like
Right,
it's
right.
you know,
It's a new
but
it's a
you
new
can't.
colorway.
Yeah, but if somebody's like, say, if they released a Bordeaux sevens this year,
Yeah.
somebody goes sneaker of the year, I'll be like, all right, bro, like pack it up. Like that's not that's.
So does it just can't go on the list at all, or it's like it can't be top blank. It can't be
I don't
top
think it should
10.
be considered. Like if it's a shoe
Okay.
re-releasing just because it's in a different year, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be considered in a sneaker of the year list.
Yeah. Okay. Then so I'll start with that in mind. Just some sneakers, the Gel NYC, the Bodega joints,
Hmm.
the Color Plus company. Um, I ended up getting sent one pair. I
Hmm.
already had the Beach pair, the Beach Ramble pair before that,
Yeah,
and then I just got the Glacier pair that just came out. I really like all three of
I
those
like the glacier.
sneakers.
I like the glacier pair the
Yeah,
most.
those are really nice.
Yeah.
The a sneaker I got recently that you don't have, the extra butter sambas.
Yeah, those are sneaker of the year for me. I was gonna make a video about it
Were
because
you
of
really?
just how close. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's literally number one for me because of how closely connected I am to that shoe.
yeah,
And like when I look at it, I'm like transported back to my time in Brazil. So like that to me makes it sneaker of the year for me because it's a culmination of this movie I love. It's connected to like my family. Like is that immediately puts it to number one for me.
yeah. So I do have the shoe. Um,
Yeah. All right. You don't got to rub it in.
and I've never been to Brazil before. I've never seen City of God. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
you seem
It's
pretty
wasted on
upset.
you. It's wasted
As
on
way
you.
it might just sit in that pile over there for a while.
I mean, my biggest problem with you in
Uh huh.
general
Uh
is
huh.
that you have too many sneakers.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
Like I've made a couple videos of talking about you and Squin specifically because
Uh
Squin
huh.
also buys a ton of sneakers that he never wears, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I get it, right? I want every pair, but I think we need to just be a little bit more subjective into like, okay, am I gonna wear this? Am I, like, and then if I'm not, should I just let it go? Because a lot of these sneakers are just sitting in a closet. They're not being worn. Sneakers are made to be worn. Like, please do something with them. Like, you don't
Hey,
need 700 pairs, bro.
you know what? You know what? I hear you, but I'm not listening. I hear you, but I'm not listening. Matter of fact, I just got this in the mail. I
Hmm.
just got this in the mail. Uh, eBay
Oh
Top
yeah,
Star.
top star.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. I still really don't. I don't know what it. What
Basically,
that
it
is.
gives you. like a insight, like a you get an extra portal that you can buy like rare sneakers, at like close to retail pricing. So,
Yeah.
but you have to maintain a certain amount of spending or selling in order to
Yeah.
maintain the top star. But it is like my homeboy Iffy was part of it, and he would like he copped like the I think the desert Travis sixes off of there for retail.
hmm
So it is beneficial.
Yeah.
But it's also mostly just newer stuff though. You're not gonna see
Yeah.
like the Kennedys pull up on there. Like you're not gonna see nothing
Yeah.
crazy on there, you know. You're not gonna
Yeah.
see a Gel Light 3 salmon toe. You know, you're not
The
gonna see nothing
kois,
crazy.
a few
Yeah.
kois. Yeah. Um, I just got some Diodora Capitos. Um,
Hmm.
that's another Brazilian. That's a Brazilian themed shoe, right?
I mean, I don't know that one. Let me look it up.
It's also
Diodora Capitos.
yeah, Copito. It's also a
Copitos.
monkey, like a gorilla.
24 quilates.
24 Pilates, yeah.
How do you is that how you say it? Quilates?
Pilates. I'm from Indiana, so we just say Pilates.
I mean, we've got we've had somebody on here saying Nikes. Nikes?
That's your boy.
That's your boy. These are from 2016.
Yep.
Japan's extra large and Spanish sneaker shop 24 Calates teams up with Diodora for this collaboration. Japanese streetwear brand Gorilla logo with the fact that Italy was home to the world's only known albino gorilla, Copito, who lived at Barcelona Zoo from 1996 until his death in 2003. It has nothing to do with Brazil. You should
I
learn
know.
more about your sneakers.
I've got so many. It's hard to keep them.
That's all I'm
Keep
saying,
them in line.
man. Like, how are these sneakers being appreciated, man?
I'm telling you about them now.
I had to
You,
tell you
you,
about the shoe now.
you didn't even know about the shoe.
Okay, but
So you know what
I
else I
knew
got?
once I knew. All right, what else? What else?
So some Air Max 120s. I love finding those on eBay.
Hmm.
Um, like I don't know why, but that sneaker is just I feel like it's one of the best Air Maxes of all time. But it's super
Yeah,
slept on. Um, it's got like that spider web on the toe box. Yep, look it up.
let me look it up because if it's the shoe I'm thinking about, then I'll be like, yeah, them joints is ugly. Yeah, them joints is ugly. Oh, I've never liked them. Go ahead.
I love them, and that's an outlet shoe. That's an outlet special.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that shoe. So I got another
it's
pair of
the
those recently.
it's the crackhead special. You see these, and that man got crack in his hand. the
Is that a fact out in New York?
I mean, I haven't seen a crackhead in those. Usually, it's the Fusion Jordans. I've always said Fusion Jordans are crackhead sneakers.
See,
Um,
I was gonna
yeah.
say out here it's the Nike boots.
Oh, really? They made
Yeah,
them down
it's
there to
Nike
where they're
boots. Yep,
the ACGs, the
yep. The
Goa
ACG,
domes.
the all black ones.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
he got
shoot.
cracked. That's
Is he
Illinois
selling the
38th
crack?
Street.
Because usually that's
No,
selling the crack
no, he's
or
tweaking.
cop.
It might, yeah, it could be a cop. It could, but I don't think cops go undercover as crackheads, do they?
Unless you got crackhead cops.
We could have crackhead cops. That's a good point.
I mean, look, my last cop is obviously the J tips. Um, but before
Uh-huh.
that, I copped the Avia 550s.
Avia,
The Avia,
880s.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, 550s.
Okay.
Um, they're the leaders quality and Avia collab. They're called
You know who likes
the
Avia?
who?
Diversified Soul.
Oh yeah, he be pushing them. But I mean, he ain't get these. I'm gonna tell you that.
Let me look him up.
um, but Jamerson, if you watch Sneakers, he's one of the hosts of Sneakers Live. He has a
Yeah.
brand called Leader Quality,
Uh-huh.
uh, and he has it's a 855. My bad. It's the Avia. Oh wait, no, is it? Yeah, it is. It's an 855. My bad. The he did a collaboration. Um, the shoe is gorgeous. It's like
What's the
Miami
collaboration
colorway.
called? What's it called
Leaders
again?
quality, leader quality, and Avia. You just put leader quality and
Oh, I
Avia
see him. I see
855.
him.
Yeah.
These are nice. Like
So
Miami.
yeah.
So to be clear, when you said Miami, I was thinking like Miami Vice. The
Oh no,
type of
I was
no,
gonna
it's
say
like
Miami
my like the
University.
yeah the
Yeah.
U. Yeah, these
Yeah.
are fire.
Yeah. So I got to make a video on those because somebody asked me to review them, and the story behind it, just as it's about creativity. He's a create. He talks about just people. I mean, I'll read it from here. In the words of Leader Quality, this sneaker is for people in all walks of creativity who abide by the following mantra: whatever you do, work with all your heart. It's for the creators, by the creators, with the creators, according to the brand. Um, my homie hooked me up with an early pair with the early code, so I
Yeah,
got him a day early. It's a dope shoe, bro. Like
they're dope for sure. I like them.
my when I hosted the live show, my homie Chris Cheney jumped onto co-host with me on the live show,
Hmm.
and his thing is Avia messed up. They the US version of their like factory like messed up all the models of the shoes. So if you want like legit Avias, you have to get them from overseas because overseas uses the right factory that has all the real models, and they reworked all the models into the US. So he's like you got to get these if you want the real. What's the sky top Avia
I think it's the
that they
880.
yeah, the 880s. Anybody, yeah, if you're anybody listening, you'll see that Journeys has 880s on sale for freaking $50 right now, $60 right now. Do not buy them. Go online, go on eBay, and get a European release. They look totally different. My boy copped them. I think he spent like I think he said he copped what, for like 200 or something like that. But it's like it uses like the real materials and the real leather and the real model, the real mold. So it's like he said it's like a big controversy or something like that, and I'm just like, all right, man. Like I don't really care about Avias like that, bro.
Yeah, I've never had a pair. I've
Yeah,
never had a pair before, but that pair you just showed me, that 855, that's kind of fire.
yeah. You should
Um,
cop them.
I should cop them, but I got this. I got it cooking on eBay right now. I got something cooking on eBay. So I caught so one of the best projects of the year that I think is going to get
Hmm.
slept on. We kind of touched on it. Was the Consortium Cup, uh,
Hmm.
all those different pairs, and
Yeah,
I have had to like chill out because I like completing packs,
right.
and so I'm sitting here looking at all the sambas, like, okay, boom, like, oh, bro, the extra butter pair, fire. Um,
Hmm.
Sneaker Politics sent me their samba, um,
Yeah.
fire. Even Nice Kicks, I like Nice. I don't know if that
Hmm.
one's a consortium cup though, but and
It is.
clothing had a fire
It
one.
is.
That one is too.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that has been one of the best like programs of the year. That
Hmm.
was a lot of fun, and now I'm seeing these sneakers come out, and it's like, yeah, this was crazy.
All right, let me read a little something for these people here because if you want to check it out, consortium cup. I 16 stores, 4 rounds, one champion. The inaugural Adidas Consortium Cup is a footwear design tournament putting 16 of the world's most renowned sneaker stores and brands against each other after BSTN's what BST I don't know what BSTN's is winning
I think
model
that's
from
just one of
round
the
one.
stores.
Oh, oh, from round one, the eye-catching Samba BSTN, releasing just last week. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Showcasing a rather loud approach, the Adidas Samba Extra Butter and the Adidas Samba Politics add color to the classic silhouettes, while the Adidas Samba Nice Kicks, the Adidas Samba End, and the Adidas Samba Casina all emphasize a fondness to for subtle yet intriguing details. And I mean, we touched on the Extra Butter pair, but yeah, it I mean that the casino pair is jeez, that's clean, bro.
Let me look up the Casino pair.
That casino pair is clean, man. I mean, yeah, the sneaker politics pair was. I didn't see the extra butter pair, but until later. But when I saw the pictures of the sneaker politics pair, I think Tony Mew on Twitter posted
Mhm.
them, and I was like, oh my god, these are gorgeous, uh, because I'm a sucker for leopard print. Like, you give
Yeah,
me anything leopard print,
yeah,
like I'll rock the shit out of it. But
yeah,
that extra butter pair is my sneaker of the year just because of what it means to me. And I think that I wish there was more of this. Like, just
yeah.
putting, you know, sneaker boutiques who have this much heritage within and culture within the culture of sneaker culture. It just would help a lot more people understand and get more, I want to say, like, ingrained into that this is not just what's hype. There's much more to this. There's stories to be told, and I thought like I was intrigued by it. I thought the idea, especially using a legacy model like the Samba, in
Hmm.
order to enhance like just awareness on people, because the Samba is currently having its what 15th revival or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so I think it
Um,
was a good shoot. Yeah,
I agree. And so, did you do any voting for the Consortium Cup?
yeah. I voted for only extra butter all the way to through.
I was voting for extra butter as well,
Hmm.
because I was hoping to, you know, maybe get some stuff. Um, but no, I mean, I like the story that they tell. Always, they always have a really good story.
Hmm.
But the Nice Kicks pair, I just looked up the Casino pair; those are gorgeous.
Yeah,
Um, Actually, all of those pairs are really
all of
really
them.
good. I can't.
Yeah,
I mean, but my favorites out of those are like I still have to get the Nice Kicks and the End pair. Um, wear them once a year, and then you
right.
know
Put
it
them
is what it
away.
is.
Let them collect dust.
I made a video today about my '07 Aqua Eights.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if you saw it, but I made it like
I didn't see it.
maybe an hour to it's like the Will Smith when his dad, why
Oh,
don't he want me, man?
what? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that you making jokes about the waste that you're
it's
creating
self
in
awareness,
that
man.
room,
It's self awareness.
it's not
I
good.
got
It's
big
not
red
good.
boots. I got big red boots. I went on a phone posit kick this summer.
Hmm.
I went on a phone posit kick, and I copped like pine
Where's the,
green.
just let us know, where is the trauma coming from? Where does it stem from?
Man, that's a good question. That's a good question. What are these sneakers? What hole are these sneakers filling?
Yes.
Hey,
Hmm.
you what hole are these sneakers filling in my life? I don't know. Um, it's tough. It's tough to figure out. But there's always something. There's always something that I want. Um,
Right.
like I
What
said,
is it?
I don't drink. I don't smoke.
Okay.
I just buy sneakers.
But those are
So
vices. It's not like it's not. Those are vices, though, right? Do you think is sneaker your vice? Like,
it
are
could be
sneakers your vice?
my
But then
vice.
again, that's something that you feel you're using it to fill a hole. Do you
Yes.
get? When's the last time you were like? And I've asked this on TikTok to everybody. I was like, when's the last time you felt pure excitement to get a sneaker? And
So, and that's the thing, right? Is that even if it's just like the Capitos, right? Like that was a pair
Mhm.
that I really, really wanted. And when they came in, I was like, cool, what's next? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
Like, I was excited. I changed the laces up, so they came with rope laces in them.
Hmm.
And most people keep the rope laces. This was one of the few times that I went to um, a flat lace, and I was like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
this is what's up. Um, I would say the C notes. I was excited about those.
Hmm.
But to be clear, once I get these shoes, like they usually go straight to feet. Um, I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
but I don't.
wear.
That's fine. I think, but the what I'm trying to relay is like
Uh huh.
when like you remember that one shoe where you were like, "Yo," like you were like, you
Yeah.
stalking the UPS guy,
Yeah.
you looking at the tracking order
Yeah.
every single second, you know the or even where you're like, "Oh snap, I can't believe I hit these," you know. And then you just thinking about the shoe for until it arrives. Like, when's the last time you felt like that?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I get a pair of shoes, that is my reaction.
But you just said it
Every
wasn't
time.
because you were already not. You were like, all right, now what's the next one? You was already on to
Yeah,
the
but
next one.
but I'm excited. I'm excited about like yo, like I'm tracking it every single like multiple times a day. Like maybe it's gonna come in early, but once I get it and I put it on feet a few times, my attention shifts to something else. But once I purchase it, in between purchasing it and receiving the sneaker, I'm like I'm gassed up. I'm hyped. Now there's the
Hmm.
one sneaker where I was like, I think the reaction that you're really talking about is like where even afterwards, the one that I can remember viscerally is the ALD 990 V2. You know what pair I'm talking about?
Now let me look those up.
I know, it's all good. While you're doing that, man,
990.
I cannot believe that I have another sneakerhead on his sneakerhead podcast
Hmm.
telling me that I've got a sneaker problem. Like that's
Well, first
crazy.
of all, we've pivoted. This is not just only a sneakerhead show,
That's right.
but
That's right.
um, but okay, I see it. You heritage meets contemporary. Those,
Yep. Yep.
I mean, they don't do nothing for me. I'll be honest.
It's all right. It's all right. But you just got your first pair of New Balances, right?
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it doesn't matter the model in terms of, to be honest. I think for me, what really sells me is just the model itself
Uh
plus the
huh.
colors. But and I'm a sucker for blue shoes, especially blue and
Hmm.
gray. But that yellow just throws me off, and it's for some reason I just do not like the way it's like the way the 990 V2s slope down like that. Whenever
Uh
I
huh.
see a shoe like that, I don't know if it's like the Air Max 720 effect, where I just go hell no. Like I'm just like I see this and I'm like nope, it's over. I
I
don't want them.
love I love the 990 V2, one of my
Hmm.
favorite sneaker models of all time. And I
Hmm.
think we've talked about it on this podcast before. But I love the 990 V2. Um, I less now. I used to really like ALD. Um,
Hmm.
maybe like 2017, 2018. Um, and so those were like a perfect storm for me. Plus, and there's some olive green in there, so
Yeah,
I like the yellow one. I got the yellow laces in them. That's a fire shoe.
I mean,
You
it's,
see the prices on StockX?
I see this. I saw the price. I hope you didn't pay that. I hope you didn't pay
No,
near that at
no.
all.
So no. So I mean, it is the most I've ever spent on a shoe. But let me tell you what
Oh,
happened.
this
Oh,
is the $600 shoe.
nah.
Was it
Oh,
400?
600.
No, this is the
Nah.
600. No.
So it's so I've paid more than 600, but for the sake of my relationship, I've only paid 600. Um, um, so I was doing Uber Eats during COVID, like driving
Right.
for
Yeah.
Uber Eats and getting paid to go to school. So I was like, I was just trying to get out the house. Um,
Hmm.
and So I drove all week until I made enough money to cover the price, and I think it's gone up like significantly since then, but it was still crazy back then too. Um, and so I drove until I had the money to buy the shoe, and that's what I just did that whole week.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Nah, nah,
it's
I
it's
wouldn't.
all good,
Nah,
man.
I can't. I couldn't. Like, at
You don't remember the beginning of COVID though. What were you doing at the beginning of COVID in
working.
New York?
Yeah,
Working from home,
working. Yeah, I've been working
um,
from home.
bro. You work from home? That's what's up.
Yeah, I ain't no instructor. I ain't no tennis instructor.
I love it.
I I got my. This is how I started the podcast. COVID happened,
Uh huh.
right, and I was just in the house, and I think that's the like I that was the second most I spent on sneakers that year. I was buying 1 to 2 pairs a month, like easily, right?
A month.
A month,
That's the
and
most.
yeah, because like I said, I learned how to be a sneakerhead from Russ, right? Like
Uh huh.
Russ was my guy in terms of just like if I look at a sneaker, like when I want this? How bad do I want this? Does it hit
Yeah.
me? And then or like function wise, like is this gonna do what I need it to do? And so for
Right.
me, like I'm fine. And when I met him, or even on his episode, I said like I'm fine appreciating a sneaker from afar. I don't need to have it, and I think
Hmm.
a lot of people feel like to be in this game, you have to have the sneaker, and I'm fine like being like, oh, I don't have the Tiffany Air Force Ones. That's cool. It wasn't for me. Like
Right.
once you learn that ability, right, of just being like, I don't have to have everything, it's a lot easier being a sneakerhead, right? so
Well,
so
and that I feel like I mean, if we look at my last pickups,
mhm,
it's all stuff from the past, right? And it's like
right.
it's not really like okay, I have to have this shoe to be in this community or
No, but
whatever.
I'm not talking about you
Oh, I
at
got you.
all.
I got you. Yeah,
I'm talking about like that's what people think it is. Like that's the status
I'm
quo.
with you. I'm with you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm with you.
you know. And
Yeah.
so once COVID happens, I was going on off on sneakers app every day, boom, 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 like whatever, because they were dropping sneakers like crazy every week that
Yeah, they
week.
were.
And so I did that, and then that made me like like a super Nike head at that point because I'm just buying Sakai's, which I think is like now the biggest scam. Um, like
Oh, hold on. What?
like
How come you feel like it's the biggest scam?
because they just kept dropping colorways and
Oh,
models.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
They
I'm
were
with you.
just
Yeah.
dropping them all over COVID, and I was just like, are they really putting any thought to it? Like, I think what really shook me out of it was when I copped the Cause colorway, the Cause
Uh-huh.
Blazers, and I had to
Yeah.
pay 25 shipping for it, and I was like, oh hell no, and I was just
Yeah.
like, this is crazy because I copped them off of Cause's website, and then
Yeah.
they were just sitting everywhere, and I'm just like, oh man, they got me good. Like,
Yeah.
I could have just waited and copped these for under retail now. So that to me, I thought that, and I mean, look, Sakai's are pretty comfortable, right? I have
Hmm.
the Vapor Waffles
Hmm.
and I have 2 pairs of the Blazers because I thought the Blazers were really comfortable, but I
Yeah.
was buying up as much as possible on during COVID, and then I was just like, you know what? Let me build a computer. So I put my money instead of like midway, I was just like, oh, I got that, 45 sent us that check. And so and so I built this computer and I was just like, let me start podcasting. And I bought the mic, I bought everything, and I started doing this. But for me, I've that was like the most I ever cop until this year. This
Hmm.
year I've been this is crazy how many pairs I have. And that's mostly because I've been walking into stores and seeing the
Yeah.
sneakers that I want in the stores. And I'm like, okay, it's here, it's my size. Now I gotta get them. Like
Like,
it's
so okay.
ridiculous.
So I was gonna ask you, do you feel like you're mostly copying like new stuff, or do you feel like you're copying stuff from the past?
It's mostly new stuff.
Okay. So I'm the opposite. I'm mostly
Yeah.
copying stuff from the past.
I mean, I'm looking for stuff in the from the past, like stuff that I've missed out on.
Yeah.
But to find them in a size 13 is always rare.
Yeah, that's tough. Uh yeah, I'm trying to find, so like Deodoras, for example. Like
Hmm.
I started off liking Jordans whenever I first started collecting sneakers. I was a big Jordan head.
Hmm.
Um and so now I'm trying to cop the Deodoras that released as I was making that transition from Deodora, or excuse me, from Jordan to Saucony to Asics to New Balance, now to Deodora. Um, so, that's been kind of what I've been on lately.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting into the Sambas, but like only the colorways that I like, just
Hmm.
because it's a shoe that you know I can wear out. In Indiana, you wear a nice pair of sneakers, and if I wore like the homage gel light threes, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, you got two different shoes on. You got two different shoes on," but you're not always trying to go through that. So I'll get some Sambas that have like some green in them, or even the sneaker politics one. Like
Yeah.
that's a fun pair to wear. So yeah, that's kind of
I
what
don't
I've
know,
been
man.
on lately.
I think you need to pare down, bro. I think you need to get rid of some. Get
Yeah.
rid of lop off a quick 200, in my opinion.
Oof.
Like if you get I look, bro. Like I remember when we first started,
Uh huh.
when we first started becoming, I don't know if you want to call us friends, but
I don't.
but
I'm just playing. I'm playing.
but I remember we did that, the me, you, and Flex, and I was like, oh yeah, I got like I remember I said 200, and I
Yeah.
was like, I went back and I actually counted. And I was like, no, I was only at like 130, and
Hmm.
now I'm looking at, I'm like, I'm definitely at 200 now,
Yeah.
and it's, to me, I always, once I hit like 150 ish, I always feel like, okay, some shit got to go, some shit got to go, stuff I don't wear got to go, because if it's if it's just sitting in your closet and it's not getting any love, then what is the purpose? What, why do we have it? And that's always been, something that I learned from Russ, that
Uh huh.
like, somebody will want to wear these sneakers, and
Right.
if it ain't you, it can be somebody else.
Okay. That's fair. They can get them from somebody else then. They're not getting them from me. I've never been. Well, let me go back. I've been compelled to sell sneakers.
Hmm.
Um, only if it was to, like, when I was in school. Um, if it was to fund the purchase of another sneaker.
Hmm.
Um, so I got rid of a bunch of Jordans because like I wasn't really wearing Jordans. I had no need for a fire red 5, or
Yeah.
a 2011 uh, black metallic 5, or
Hmm.
a lot of this. What was a legend? Not legend blue, sport blue sixes. Like those
Hmm.
colorways, it didn't make any sense. Um, well, the fire reds made sense. Actually, all those fives made sense, but um, I sold those so that I could get like the Jown 992s. Um,
Right.
but I've never had the urge to just get rid of sneakers. And I hear what you're saying about like, okay, somebody else can appreciate them, and that's romantic and all, but like, I don't care. I'll be real with you. This that's not something that really you know that doesn't really sway me. I like having my sneaker collection. I like it being a conversation piece for people. It's like collecting. It's like collecting anything.
I
Um,
mean, look, if you lived in a city,
yeah,
right, that I think you'd have more time to wear those pairs,
yeah.
right? You know, but
What
if
do you
you
think?
look
What do
at,
you think Indianapolis looks like?
it's just, cows and
That's
And
crazy. That's
nah,
crazy.
no. I'm talking about like comparing it to New York, right? Like it's not New York. You're not gonna go out every single night. Like you're not
No,
pulling up to the bar, every
that
night,
sounds
right?
exhausting. No, that sounds exhausting.
New
I'm
pairs
not
of
doing
kicks
that.
every night.
I'm not
So
doing that.
I think that like having that was one of my questions because I think we both grew up in the era where the legends were the ones that had the crazy big massive collections and we all looked up to
Hmm.
them, right? You
Yeah,
know, B53 53, Croatian style,
yeah,
Franlations, like all these dudes that were having just massive collections, and you'd be like, yo, they got those. Oh snap, they got those, right? And I think we idolize that, and now you're like, I am one of those people.
Well,
So
I don't necessarily. I don't feel like I'm one of those people because it would be like, you know, a lot of exclusive stuff that it's like you
uh,
know about, but you're never gonna be able to get. Right?
no, I'm talking about like having a massive collection of just sneakers, right? I think a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people on the forums were like, that's what they were looking up to, and
Hmm.
now that it's so easy to have it, because
Yeah.
before it was mad hard to have a huge collection like that.
Yeah.
Before it was like people were putting in hours and time just to get these sneakers one by one, brick by brick,
Hmm.
and they weren't getting gifted. None of these people were getting gifted pairs. Like,
Yeah.
PG Nose was going crazy, just searching all over the world for Air Force One signed by, I don't know, Sean Marion or something. So like
Yeah.
these massive collections were stuff of legend,
Right.
legend stature.
Right.
So
I
I
see what
think
you're saying.
I
I see
think,
what you're
but I,
saying.
like I was saying, because like, but it's what's wild is that we can look at any content creator, right? Any, and
Uh huh.
that's counting you, Flex, Dre, like all these people that are on, and you could look behind them, and they always have a massive collection behind them, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's I think that's something that sneaker culture is like. Oh, in order to have a following, you have to have a massive collection, and so I think
Right.
that that's ingrained in a lot of us.
You know what? I think that's a fair point because like I'll look at a creator like Harrison Neville who I used to watch,
Hmm.
um, and he would talk about how he moves pairs through his collection so frequently, and I would be like, ugh, like like why are you like he's buying stuff and then selling it like right away, taking a few pictures and selling it right away.
But as he's also buying random boxes, and
Yeah,
a
that
lot of that
yeah,
stuff isn't even his size, because he's always like in the video like, this is my size, and I'm like, so then you're just buying stuff that isn't your size, or
yeah,
these people are just sending him different sizes, so he has to offload this stuff. So
yeah.
it makes sense.
And then you get like a. Did you ever watch like Richie Lee?
Yeah, I've watched everybody. I've seen
All right,
everybody.
so Richie Lee, he would he talked about how he would just move sneakers,
Hmm.
and that's just never been a um, a a thing that you know that I was that interested me. What I think that what my sneaker collection is a monument to the hard work I've put
Hmm.
um, in my life. You know, just being able to, I could have a nicer car. Like I drive a Toyota Camry. I could have a nicer
Hmm.
car. I could do. I don't want to say have a bigger house too loud because I don't know if my girlfriend went to bed yet. um, but this is just like this is like my monument to like you know coming from a. I came from a place not physically, but I came from a place where I didn't think that I'd ever like go to college. Not that there's anything wrong with being a police officer, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, like my brother's a police officer, but I thought I would do something like that, or be a firefighter, or do some like blue collar work, for my whole life, and now I'm in a spot where I'm teaching tennis full time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's just this has always been like a monument to like I just busted my ass for all this time, and now this is what I have to show for it, and I'm still proud of it. Like I thought that I would be past the sneaker phase by 31. That's how old I am now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not, and I'm not even close. So just I think I see the collection less about the individual shoes, even though each individual shoe is important. I think about it more as like the collection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I it's the a culmination of stuff I wasn't able to get. Now I'm able to get
Yeah.
the, and that's the ode. You having everything is the ode to just growing up in the culture and wanting
Right.
to,
Right.
you know, uh,
And the journey
like
that I've taken to
yeah,
get here,
right.
on November 26th, talking to you about sneakers, right? Like, you know, um, so I think that's why I uh, I'm very, very proud of just having a lot of sneakers. Because it's a symbol of the work I've been putting in for the last, been collecting sneakers for about 12, 13 years. So
Hmm.
all the hard work I've put in that time. I remember missing meals for sneakers. Well, not missing meals, but like, you get a peanut butter, you get a jar of peanut butter, some bananas, and a loaf of bread, and
I
that's
mean, look,
eating.
I'm fine with that when you're coming up, but Squint is talking
Yeah,
about this is what he does like
I heard,
current day.
man, that's crazy. And that man's got a family.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, what?
Well, early
You got
20s. To be clear, this is early 20s, Morgan. This was early 20s, and I knew I was getting a paycheck in at
yeah.
the most 2 weeks. So I
I
forgot
mean,
about that. That was wild.
I don't understand how you can go into a spot, ask for a Happy Meal, and be like, all right, cool, I'm good. Like, I'm gonna get these
Yeah,
sneakers.
yeah. That's not happening. That's not
I'm
happening.
just gonna not get the sneakers. Like, it's fine. Like, you
Yeah,
got
I'm cool with it.
it's a, yeah, exactly. Um, the idea of putting sneakers first has never been something for me. I love the culture, but
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be like, I need to get this, so I need to, I'm gonna buy ground beef from the Dollar Tree, and
The high blood pressure is not worth it. Now, when I was younger, I'm not gonna lie. Like um, I definitely put sneakers first. There were a lot of times I put
yeah,
sneakers
I think
first,
I think it's a
but
phase when you grow when you're into
yeah,
the
as like
starting
being
getting
a
in the
yeah,
culture. Yeah,
and
yeah.
especially when it's like, okay, I know I was in the military from 18 to 23, and so
Hmm.
it's like, okay, I'm not gonna go hungry. I'm not gonna, lose my house because it's funded by the government.
Hmm.
Um, and I know I'm getting a paycheck in 2 weeks, so I had that buffer once I got out of the military, and it's like, oh, I gotta pay for my own everything, health insurance, place to live, all that stuff. Then
Yeah.
it started becoming like, okay, the stakes are higher. I can't, you know what I mean? I can't mess around too much.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, I wasn't perfect. I remember when do you remember the 11 lows, the cherry joints, and the
Hmm.
blue with the gum bottom? Those both came out on the same day,
Yeah.
and I could afford one. And so, but I put in for both of them on the sneakers app, and lo and
Hmm.
behold, I hit on both of them, and that was a rough 2 weeks. That was a rough 2 weeks to say the least. My stomach was growling quite a bit, and I could have, you know what? Like a normal person, a sane person would have like canceled the order or like sent one
Yeah.
back. Nah, I was like, this is just I'm fasting. I'm fasting. I'm fasting these next 2 weeks. It's a spiritual
Man.
journey.
I feel you on that. I think it's freeing when you cancel a sneaker because I did that with the off white green mids. I was just like,
Uh-huh.
I got them, and I was like, man, get this out of here, and I just canceled it. I was just like, all right, cool, I don't got to worry about this. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Look, we're towards the end of the podcast. You know, we've been going on, but you got any final thoughts for the listeners or watchers?
Yeah. Hey, hold the sneaker TikTokers accountable, man. They're getting corny. They're getting lame. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not everybody can be everything. There's only one diverse sneaker collection. Don't let them show you 100 Nikes and say that they got the most diverse sneaker collection. Um, don't let them throw on an all matching denim tears outfit and say that they're the best dressed, right? Like, hold them accountable. This doesn't have to be an accepting and welcoming place for everybody. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then go ahead and follow your boy, Morgan's Sneaker Room.
Yes,
Feeling a
sir,
little
and
spicy.
love it, love it. I'm in that realm with you. And then you know where to follow your boy. I am who is Haas on all social medias. Follow the podcast at My First Kicks Pod. Follow the podcast and no, subscribe and like and all that shabazz on My First Kicks on YouTube and TikTok. And if you have a My First Kick story, hit me up, myfirstkickspod at gmail.com. And for everybody out there, you know what we say each week, wear your kicks. Peace.